For those who haven't been with us before, we'll start with a brief introduction of head coach Matt Stewart. We'll hear a little bit from Matt, and then we will open up the forum for questions from whoever wants to ask. All we ask is that you signal a fair catch and wave. We'll find you and give you the opportunity to ask questions. At this time, I'd like to introduce the head coach of the West Texas A&M men's and women's track and field program, Matt Stewart. He should be in the middle of his third season as our head coach, but as it is, all of our spring sports came to a premature end, but he is in his third year as the head coach. He spent a few years on our staff as an assistant, but during his time as the head coach, the Lady Buffs have actually claimed 2 national championships. They won the outdoor championship in 2017 and then followed up in 2018 with an indoor championship. His ledger, both as a coach and an athlete, student athlete, is beyond incredible. An outstanding high school quarter miler and 400 hurdles, I believe, at Odessa Permian. He then went to Texas Tech, where he was an All-American and earned 11 All Big 12 honors. He was also a member of an All Big 12 championship team. So at this point, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about your background as a student athlete, and then what got you into coaching. Give us an idea of what brought you here to West Texas A&M.
Well, really, my background as a student athlete was just playing football and running track. I played basketball, too, at Odessa Permian. Really mainly a football player growing up. And then I had some opportunity to run track. Really, my senior years when I kind of took off in track, mainly because I didn't have to do spring ball. And, you know, football is year-round in Odessa, Texas. So I was really focused on football all the way till then. And then my senior year, I was able to run pretty fast in the 400, and then I was able to get some looks in track for college and able to go run for Coach Wes Kitley at Texas Tech University, and then get an opportunity there and run the 400, 4x4, 4x1, 200 were my main events there. And then really he's the one who kind of got me into coaching. I wanted to basically be like him, a big mentor for me. And then I was able to get my first job was really at a high school job, was a head track coach and football coach at Giddings High School, which is near Austin area. And I was able to really learn on the fly there. And then I wanted to get into college. So my first college job was at Abilene Christian University. And then I was able to move to WT once I met Darren Flowers at a lot of the meets. We were in the same conference back then in the Lone Star. So he needed a sprints coach, and then I ended up here, and I've been here 10 years and love WT, and just want to continue to help the program grow and continue to hopefully give everything I have to all the kids that run for us, and they're doing a great job. And it's just an awesome place to be, a lot of support here, and we're able to compete at a high level. But really, as a student athletes help me relate to the athletes, and I'm able to know what kind of they're going through, because I probably went through the same things in this sport, in the collegiate level especially.
We've got a question from Jerry Schaefer for you, Matt, just real quick, and then we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay.
I didn't realize you went to Permian High School. Who was the football coach while you were there?
I had Randy Mays, who had been there a long time and a part of a lot of their state championships there. And then my senior year, I had TJ Mills, who was from Sealy, Texas. And I had him for just that 1 year. So Randy Mays all the way up to my senior year. Then I had TJ Mills after that.
Interesting.
Matt, coming back to your time at WT, you joined the program literally at its inception. We started with the women's program, then added in the men's. So you have seen the growth and development, I mean, from nothing to national championships. Tell us a little bit about what led to that, because some teams go forever and don't get to this level. And you and previously Coach Flowers nurtured it along to where in a relatively short time, 10 years isn't that long in athletics, you know, just a year in, year out contender for national honors. What has been what was the seed that got things going?
Well, I think first of all, we had the facility, we had the support, then we had the scholarships to be able to go get the athletes. And then we could sell the university with the academic programs they have here. And then we just kind of hit on some big recruits. We just got some recruits to come. And then once you get a few really good ones, I mean, Tommy Curry was probably the first big one that I had, who ran 10-1 and 20.5 for us. And we got 12th that year at nationals. I think that was my second year here on the men's side. And so we just kind of started hitting on some big recruits. And then once you start, some momentum started, and then we just kind of kept it going. And then we were able to hopefully get the best athletes from this area, which is hard to do. And then we got a big international presence as well. And those athletes, all those athletes combined, just kind of helped us get the culture going, and then just success followed after that.
You mentioned sprints was your forte, your focus when you got started at ACU. Is obviously, as a head coach, you have to be an organizer, but do you still focus on the sprints? And also tell us a little bit about your staff.
Yeah, I focus on the sprints, hurdles, relays. That's kind of my area, my I guess expertise. But then I have Ryan Gibson, who is a big part of our jumps program. He runs all the jumps and multis, and he ran at Oklahoma State. He got his master's at Baylor in coaching. I mean, Ryan's one of the smartest guys you'll meet. 4.0, almost a genius. Just very smart, very analytical on the way he does things. And our jumps program is obviously a big reason why we're really good. And he was with us before, went to Tarleton, and then I got him back, and hopefully I can keep him here for a long time. Great man, great person. And then I got Coach Krolik, who's on the call with us down there. Coach Krolik, he's done a great job in continuing the excellence of our program. It wasn't easy for him to come in and replace, Coach Flowers, and we'd won, 5 titles in a row on the men's cross country side, and and Coach Dudley had moved on from her post at that time as well. So for him to get the women going and get the men going and buy into what he's doing, and then his guys have just done an outstanding job, and his girls are doing a great job as well. And we've got probably 17 girls on our team next year on women's cross country, and hopefully we might have 20 on each side. So he's building both those programs the way they should be, the right way. And Coach Krolik was a great runner as well. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people know his story and training for the marathon. And he had a great college career, and he was around some great coaches at Adams State and Edinboro. So Coach Krolik brings a lot to our program, and he does a great job with our distance runners. And he's really 800 and up, and he trains those people on the track, and then as well as takes care of our cross-country teams. And then we have Coach Randy Denham, who's been with us since the inception as well. And Coach Randy Denham has been coaching for 42 years. He's part-time. He goes to Tascosa for 35 years. He was a defensive coordinator there, big-time football coach there for a long time. He's had some great throwers. Nick Jones was a great thrower for him, who's a record holder in Division II. And he went on to Abilene Christian to do some great things. So Coach Denham's coach, Norma Cunningham. The biggest story I tell is Norma Cunningham never threw disc in high school, and she was a national champion for us and helped us win a national championship in 2017. And obviously, Duke Kaczynski, Zeta Swoops. Coach Denham's done a great job. He gets people better, and we're hoping we can keep him around as long as we can. And but he's a big part of our staff, a big mentor to me, and he's been with me for 10 years for this whole time. So we love Coach Denham, and he does a great job. And then we usually have some GAs on our staff as well, and those kind of change every couple of years. Nicolina Horelik was our GA this year, and she was an outstanding competitor for us as an athlete, numerous conference titles, and she's moving on, and then we'll hire someone new starting next fall.
A lot of longevity and continuity on your staff. We've talked about these national championships. The national championship is kind of where the season came to an end this year, but you never got to compete. Talk a little bit about you were en route or on site, and how you found out, broke it to the kids, just the mood of how this season came to an end.
Yeah, I think with that Wednesday night when the NBA canceled, we were in Birmingham, so I kind of had a little bit of a bad feeling that something may happen the next day. But the next day was our pre-meet day, and that's when we practice and we get ready for the meet Friday, Saturday. So we had a coaches meeting on Thursday morning, and you could kind of get a vibe from the NCAA representatives there that something maybe was going to happen that afternoon. And they said that afternoon that we would know more about whether we could have the meet or not. So really, as a staff, as a coaching staff, we just tried to keep all that to ourselves and just try to have as much as business as usual as we could and practice and get ready like we were going to compete the next day. But then around 3-4 o'clock, we found out that we weren't going to be able to compete, and then we basically had to go home. So from there, it was a whirlwind of getting Coach Krolik on the phone, and he was calling the travel company, and we got our guys out that night. So they went from thinking they were going to compete the next day to packing their stuff up real quick and driving to the airport and getting on a plane and leaving. And then the rest of the girls team and me and Coach Krolik left the next day. So it was just a whirlwind of emotions, especially for our seniors. It just happened so fast and ended so quickly. And then to know that we weren't going to have an outdoor season 2 was obviously a gut punch too. So, a lot of emotions, a lot of, you feel bad for all the athletes at the meet. It's just, you're sitting there thinking, well, we're already here. Why can't we just get these 2 days in and then leave? But that's not the way, it works. And we knew that this is a serious situation going on. So we just tried to get our student athletes home as soon as we could, and then try to console them as much as we could. And it's just hard to get to the national championship. It's hard to win them. It's hard to get there for the athletes. And to not have the opportunity was definitely rough, but they will persevere and get better from this and learn from it. And I think that they'll, in their future, do a great job in dealing with adversity. And I think that this was a tough pill for them to swallow. But I didn't really know what to say to the athletes. I didn't really get a chance to talk to them as a team because it all came out on Twitter, and you have different groups at the meet that have to practice at different times. So we weren't all there together. So they kind of all found out through social media. And then by the time I got back to the hotel, everybody knew. And then we were just trying to talk to each person and then get flights back home. And it was a pretty crazy day.
Now moving forward, track and field being a sport of individual competitions, competing as a team, how are you communicating with your team now? I'm sure they are flung across the entire globe. Any concerns staying in shape towards next year? What's the coaching like right now?
Well, right now we're just focused on academics and making sure that they're doing well in their classes and trying to keep up with them in the classroom. And then as far as training, we have workouts sent out, and our strength coach sent some workouts out as well, and just some stuff you could do at home. We're trying to get really creative in-home circuits. If they can practice outside in their street, if they can go on a run, or we're just trying to come up with different options for each of our athletes, and really just communicating with them daily on what's going on here, and just trying to keep them motivated and finish their schoolwork off the right way. And for on the track side of things, we got the fall. Hopefully we have the fall that we got some time to get them ready. I think it's more of our cross country runners where they're going to have to be ready August, September, October to be ready to run and compete. For track, we got some time. We could compete in January, or we have some time that fall to get them back into it. We'll just have to kind of take it slower when they get back. And I think the weight room will be big. Most weight rooms are closed, so they're losing a lot of strength right now, weight room wise. But there's only so much they can do circuit wise to keep their strength up. So really training wise, we're just trying to keep them it's almost like a mental break, and keep them outside, get some sun, move around a little bit, and not just be in your house all day, and just try to move around a little bit, and hopefully that'll make them feel better throughout the day. And we still have about 30 athletes here on campus, and we're in contact with them every day, and they're training, and we're controlling social distancing out there and trying to monitor, making sure they're doing things the right way and doing the things the way that our administration wants done out of practice right now.
And not to just keep heaping disappointment, but we are coming up on the time when we were just about to host the Lone Star Conference Championships.
Yeah, I think, it's pretty rough to think about. We just got our track redone, and it looks great. And got new striping on it, and we were ready to go. And, we had a great team. We really have a better outdoor team, men and women, because we have great 400 hurdlers, 4x1, discus, hammer, javelin, all the outdoor events you don't have indoor. We're pretty strong in those events. So we were really looking forward to competing outdoor. And really one of our best women's sprinters only had outdoor eligibility left. So she never got to compete. And I think our women's team would have been really strong and would have had a chance to win a national championship with the people we had. These seniors girls have won 2 national titles for us already. So for them not to be able to complete their season's pretty rough, and they were going to get to complete it at home, which would have been a great send-off for them. On the men's side, we have great 400 hurdlers, Nikolai Hartling, William Frobe, and then Quentin Sansing is almost better outdoor sprint-wise, and we have some great 10K, 3K steeple, just the distance events, and really the throws events were stronger outdoor. So we definitely disappointing, but I think as far as I know, we'll get to host next year. So hopefully that happens and we can get the alumni back here and all our supporters and the community out to watch our kids, because they don't get a chance to watch them very often.
We're visiting with the head track and field coach of the Buffaloes and the Lady Buffs, Matt Stewart. Who has a question for Coach Stewart? I see.
I'm going to go ahead and fire one off. I'm going to beat Daniel to it. The one thing that, looking at the screen, I can see that there's quite a few alumni that have come on, or current athletes, I think. And so, Coach Stewart, I'm sure you can see this as well. I want to open it up to the alumni and you guys, and unmute you and just let you go after it a little bit.
All right, first question for you. How are you staying sane right now? Obviously, without being on campus and without doing your job day to day, how are you staying sane?
Well, I got a 2-year-old at home, so there's just trying to keep up with her every day and keep her out of trouble and entertain her all day long is really my job right now. And then obviously we're still working from home and doing our recruiting and trying to build the best team possible we can for next semester. And so we're really focused on that, and in communication with Coach Krolik and Coach Denham and Coach Gibson every day, and really just trying to build the best team possible, hang out with the wife and Ella, my daughter, and then really just try to just stay positive. Really, that's really what I'm trying to do, because I'll start sulking if I'm in the house too long and not be able to do what I love to do. So it's definitely a challenge, but we're still having fun with family. And it's just weird not being able to see my mom, dad. I see them a lot. They're from Odessa, so I see them a lot. Just not being able to see family is kind of weird, but a lot of FaceTime, a lot of phone calls, and just trying to stay in touch with friends and family as much as we can too.
While we're here with alumni, Daniel, you and Bree are in the process of planning pretty big event yourself. How is it going with all this shelter in place and craziness?
I'll let her answer.
I don't want to talk about it. So far, our date is set for July 3rd, and we haven't postponed it yet. So keep your fingers crossed for us.
Will do.
Who else has a question? Go ahead, Tyson.
Matt, what's your greatest moment as a coach at WT?
Honestly, probably winning. The obvious answer is winning national championships, but really winning those conference titles. Our first conference titles was huge for us. We acted like we won the Super Bowl when we won that. Indoor at the Bubble at Tech, and we won both of them, men and women. And that was just a big step for our program, and just that was our first goal okay, let's try to win conference, and then we're going to try to build toward a national championship after that. So once we accomplished that, we were just elated. I think we spent 2 hours after that meet taking pictures. So we were just so elated to win that. And I think that was probably a big moment, because it took a long time to build to where we're at. And it took a lot of people, a lot of the student athletes, to trust us in what we were doing, even though we have a history here of a track program, but it's pretty far back, and no one really knew who we were or anything. So to win that first conference championship was big. And then obviously the first national championship was big because that was a culmination of a lot of years of work and trying to sell our program. And we just really dominated that meet, honestly. I mean, we just had a great meet. So, and then really to follow that up, to win 2017 outdoor and then bam, win the next one, 2018 indoor. And we dominated that one as well, with just some great performances all around from our women. And really our men, and then that first year we got a trophy, top four, fourth place for our women and eighth place for our men. To have both our teams up there in the top 10 was huge as well for us. But I would say the first big thing for me was winning that conference championship, because that's what we set out to do.
So I was there in 2017 when you won it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you and Darren were like emotionless the whole time that last day. Like Darren wouldn't even talk about winning it.
Yeah.
Like when did you know that you were going to be national champion? Like when did it finally, like when did you realize that moment? Because like you and Darren would just like stone faced and wouldn't even like talk about it.
Well, I think we just had, I think for me, I had my men's 4x4 going at the end. So I was just trying to stay even keel and calm for my guys and not lose my mind. But I think once we really, it happened so fast because we won the 4x1 and then really won triple jump. Then we just started knocking out all these big points everywhere, that we really didn't know what to think at that point. I don't think we believed it, because we were just still like, oh, can anyone catch us, or can anyone come sneak up behind us and get us? And then we knew that wasn't possible there towards the end. But yeah, it was I would say it was a little bit emotionless, but at the time. But after that, we get back to the hotel and you just realize what just happened. I would say the days after that were emotional for Darren and I. So we had a great meet, and I think for me personally at the meet, I was just trying to keep it together, and I had my men's 4x4 there at the end, and I was really focused on them running as fast as they could.
Questions for Matt? Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you talked a lot about how it early ended for the seniors, that they couldn't get to compete in the indoor national championships, and the outdoor season, of course, is wiped out. That just completely pulled the rug out from under them. I'm just curious about, for the seniors, maybe some of them did finish the indoor season. Was the NCAA maybe going to grant them some eligibility for next year so that maybe they could compete in the outdoors if they didn't get to compete in that year? Because other spring sports like baseball, softball, the NCAA is going to grant all those athletes an extra year of eligibility. If someone are going to get that extra season of competing in the outdoors if they didn't get it this year?
Yes, sir. They'll be able to come back and do outdoor. Indoor, they don't get that one back, but they are able to come back and do outdoor. So I'm pretty sure I got a few coming back. I see Madison Thetford on here. She's coming back. So there's one. I think I've got 4 or 5 coming back. I'm still working on a few others. Some people just were graduating and had their eyes set on a job or set on just moving on in their lives. So, and then I've got some coming back to do their masters anyway, and then that allows them to come back and compete next outdoor. So that's really the goal for me, is to get those seniors the recognition they deserve, and be able to host the conference championship next year. Next May would be awesome, and I think that'll happen. And I think we'll have a good senior group that would have been done this year coming back next year.
Who's next? Bree, did you have a question, or are you saying you want to come back?
Yeah, I'm coming back next year. Can I run unattached?
You got cross-country eligibility, so you can.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I've been practicing my hurdling too, so
Okay.
ready.
I saw a hand. Was it Alex or Paul? Paul Sweetgall, you're on.
All right, very good. Coach Stu,
Yes, sir.
I can talk to you just about any time, but it's great to see some of the alums that are on the screen here that I really didn't expect to see on here. I'm just wondering if they'd be willing for Kent to turn on mics and we have them tell us where they are and what they're doing at this point.
Yeah.
Casey, do you have control of the mics?
We got Alexander Korn is here.
Yeah, let's go around the horn here.
Hi, I'm back in Germany, and this is my boy. Glad to see you and talk to you all, guys, and really great what how the program has developed and everything. And I still try to keep in touch somewhat and follow you all, guys. And I really enjoyed it. So great that you did this session. Thanks.
Thanks, Alex. Alex he's our 800-meter record holder, and he's a All-American for us here. So Alex was a great runner for us here, and great student as well.
Alex, is the little guy going to follow in your footsteps? Is he a mid or is he going to be a sprinter?
That depends. We'll see. But he definitely is going to do track. Yes.
Who wants to be next?
Daniel?
I'll
Got two in this screen.
Yeah.
So we live in Indianapolis now. Followed Daniel up here after he first went to USATF. But I'm teaching right now, 4th grade, moving up to high school. Next year, gonna try my hand at that. And we're trying to get married this year, so we'll see if that happens.
I question about eligibility was gonna. Oh, shoot. Oh yeah, we're unmuted. I was afraid that question about eligibility was gonna come my way. I am working at the NCAA now in championships. So odds are that Matt found out before I did that, or Coach Stewart found out that before I did that championships were canceled for the rest of this season.
Yeah, Daniel and Bree are both from this area, ran for us. Daniel was one of the first. He's one of the originals. So he's a 400 hurdler for us. And then worked here at WT for a little bit, and then now worked at USA Track and Field, now works at the NCAA.
Yep.
And then Bree was a multi-time All-American for us and 2-time Elite 89 winner. I think it's the Elite 90 now.
Yep.
So she's the smart one in the relationship.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Okay, who else
I think
do
we
we
got
have?
Madison in here, but she's not an alum yet. And Tobia's here too.
There we go.
Tobia, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I am in Italy right now. Everything is shut down, but I mean, we're safe here. And I stopped running, so I'm getting fat a little bit, but you know, sometimes I just go jogging. And I really miss life in Canyon. It was really good being with you. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, hope to see you soon too. And Tobia was a 400-meter hurdler for us, multi-time All-American, good 4x4 guy, and a great hurdler, and performed really well when it mattered the most. Madison, you can go ahead. You're not an alum yet, but.
Hi, I'm not an alum yet. I'll be back for outdoor season. I wasn't really sure if we were going to get another indoor season, so it's kind of good to know for sure that that will not happen. So I'm going to get ready for outdoor.
Now, Madison, were you at the indoor nationals when it got shut down? And if so, tell us from a student athlete's perspective what went through your head. Had to be a range of emotion.
Sadly, I already had pre-meted. I was ready. I was watching girls fall over hurdles, and I just kept thinking, oh, I'm ready for this. I can go out there and compete. I've got this. And that night is when I found out on social media that it was canceled. And poor Coach Stu came in, and I was hysteric and sad and so many emotions. And I was ready to get out of there. So I was thankful that they got us on some early flights and we were out of there because I was over it. It was very sad, but I know it was all for a good reason. And I'm just thankful that I have outdoor season next year.
Anything else for Coach Stewart here?
Stu, can you talk about the team? I mean, only the person ever won the National Athlete of the Year 3 times.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her back. It's going to be a tough one. But, if the team's graduating in May, and then she'll maybe pursue a master's, degree, but her time as an athlete here is really untouchable for anyone else to. I mean, it's just she's for any other athlete that's come through here. She's done so many great things. It's unbelievable. I know Cale Steed wrote an article on her, and I know that just the national championship she's won and what she's done for the team has been remarkable. She's one of the best jumpers in Division II history, and she will be really obviously in the Hall of Champions here and probably in the Division II Hall of Fame one day for track. So the team's done a lot for our program. To have someone that can do both jumps at that high of a level is rare, and just the marks she's put up and the performances she's had at the national meet are really just unbelievable to think about, and just what and really the Lone Star Conference meet and the Lone Star Conference record she has and all the titles she has in the LSC, plus all the All-American honors, Athlete of the Year honors, national championships, team national championships. I mean, the list just goes on and on. But she's doing well right now. She's still training. She'll definitely train next year and hopefully get qualified for the Olympics. I know that's a big goal for her, and we'll just see what the future holds for her from now on.
I've got a question for both Alex and Tobiah. Living overseas, how is it with this pandemic right now? I mean, it's obviously hit the United States, but especially Italy. We have read so many bad things about it, but yet you're outside right now and you say you're weathering the storm, but what is the climate over there right now?
So right now is pretty good, the climate, but because everybody is locked up, and we are locked up since the 15th of March, and it's getting harder because stay inside your home, and we can just go out to buy food. That's it. If we go out for other reason, we can police can stop us and they can give us a fine. And it's hard because there is the sun outside, so everybody wants to go out. And right now, all the big companies are shut down, so we are not getting paid, and it's pretty tough. They told us that probably on the 3rd of May, some people, some kind of jobs can start to work again, but it's the second time that they are postponed the quarantine. So we just wait. And
you mentioned going to the store. Is there food on the shelves?
Yes, there is food, and we saw also in the USA that everybody was run to the store to buy a lot of stuff, but they told us that the food is not going to be a problem because the company of food, they will keep working. So there is food for everybody, and the only things that is kind of bad is that the local store are shut down, so it's gonna be hard for them to overcome this.
Yeah.
Alex, how about you? I believe you said you're in Germany. What's the situation there?
Quite similar to what Toby just described. But except I'm living in a state where we don't have quarantine or something like that, so I can go out, but we're not allowed to go out in groups more than 2 people, and of course not being able to see friends or even family or grandparents is kind of tough as well. So it's quite similar to what Toby described, but we have all food and we even have toilet paper. Everything is fine.
Sounds good. Anybody have anything else for Coach Stewart? Sharon Brown.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You bet.
Well, I got on late because I couldn't get things to work for me, so I'm sorry. And I really admire our track team and don't know much about it. I just wondered if Coach would talk a little bit about when your seasons will be next year for somebody that doesn't know, and talk a little bit about it for me.
Yeah, no problem. Really, cross country is really August to November. So our cross country season's usually in that range, maybe bleeds into December a little bit. And then really our indoor season, where we're at indoor track meets, are January to mid-March. And then mid-March to the end of May is our outdoor season. And then outdoor, we usually host 3 to 4 meets here at WT. And then, like I said, next year, hopefully we get to host the conference championship. And I know we'd have a great turnout there because we did back when we hosted it in, I think, 2012. We had a great turnout at our championship there. So this will be the second time we've ever hosted a track championship. So it doesn't happen very often. So we're really excited for that. And hopefully we can get a lot of supporters and alumni back for that meet. And that would be in May, first weekend in May.
Do you all ever have a meet the players event for fans, or do you not do that?
We really don't do that, but we work every football game and work the gates. So if you come to the football games, you'll meet a lot of our student athletes working the gates. We work all the gates around the new football stadium and try to help out where we can there. But we could definitely do something for the boosters and the alumni that meet our team. And there's just a lot of us. There's probably going to be 100 of us next year, 100 plus. So
100. Oh.
We've got a big program. We're only going to get bigger until Mr. McBroom tells me to stop. Stop getting bigger. So, but we've got huge, probably 60 women next year and 50 men, maybe more than that. We'll see. So big job ahead for us coaches, for sure.
Well, congratulations to just everything that you've accomplished.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any more questions for Coach Stewart? Casey.
Okay, so I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. Or kind of, who is the better athlete, you or your wife?
I would say me. She's not on here, so she won't know. I would say me. Sarah can just run straight. She can't agility, anything else like that. She can run in a straight line very fast. I've got a little more agility to me. And
that must be because of coaching, though. Who coached her?
Yeah.
All right.
But no, Sarah.
Daniel wants to know who's the better parent then.
Who's the better parent? Sarah's a great mom. So I'll give her that.
A little slower at it.
Yeah.
Anything else for Matt Stewart? Jerry, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, I know one of your recruits that's coming in. I'm wondering, with such a big team and so many recruits, is there one thing that has to be present when you talk to a kid and you watch a kid? Is there some special significant thing that you look for before you invite them to come to WT?
Really, we look at the full package, and we try to obviously look at their academics, and then we talk to coaches. We talk to coaches that coach against them, and we want to get the athletes that are going to be very tough, very competitive. And this is an individualized sport, and you have to have a lot of self-discipline, self-motivation. And it's a very black and white sport because you are what you are. You are what your time says you are. You are what your mark says you are. So we just look for athletes that are tough. We try to go see them compete. We try to see as much film as we can on them. And we want athletes that are tough, that are going to compete at a high level and represent our university at the highest level. And I think we do a good job of that. We have a very good culture on our team. And they, for the most part, buy into what we're doing. And the seniors are always good leaders that we have because they've been through the program. And once we get them here, we feel like we can improve them which is just due to the facility we have, the resources we have. Coach Matt Segura does a great job of getting them better in the weight room, and then our training staff and just all the things we have in place here at WT, and that a lot of you have put a lot of work into and helping us get there to that point. Once we feel like we can get the athlete here and we just feel like they're going to get better and feel like they're going to continue to improve year to year. Because in track and field, it's just a process, and it is in every sport. Process year to year, getting better, and them knowing that they're going to get better, and just seeing little progress here and there every year, I think is huge for us. And really, when we look at bringing an athlete in, like I said, it's black. We know what they run. We know how far they can jump, how high they can jump, how far they can throw, just because the marks are there. But then we want to look at how they run, what they look like technically, attitude, toughness, talking to as many people as we can, as many coaches as we can.
Matt, keeping on the subject of recruiting, how has the landscape changed for you this year, recruiting-wise? You've got a high school class of young student athletes that aren't having a senior season at all, aren't having this year of development. And, you know, high schoolers, a senior year is a huge year for development. You're not getting the film. You don't have state championships. You don't have the Texas relays to go see the kids.
Yeah.
How's it working for you?
Yeah, it's very difficult because you feel terrible for them. Because I don't even know if I would have ran track if I would have had my senior year. I probably would have played football. So you think about, you know, Valda Cabilla, one of our best sprinters, said the other day she wouldn't have gotten any offers because she didn't take off till her senior year. Yeah. So really, I can't imagine what they're going through. And we're getting emails daily from athletes that are basically saying, you know, I was going to be so much better this year. Is there any way I can join your team, or do you have any scholarship? Always want scholarship money. Everybody wants scholarship money for sure. Always just asking questions about that and asking questions what they can do to show me or show our staff that they can produce for us and be a part of our program. So it's definitely changed everything. You're looking at their junior marks, and then you're looking at maybe the few meets they went to in February, early March. But, you know, some of them have played basketball. Some of them had no shot to even get a mark. So honestly, you're talking to the coaches you trust and from those programs and asking them how they're developing, what you think they would have been capable of this year. But it's definitely very difficult. So right now we're just kind of going through that process and seeing who we can bring in and what opportunities we can give people without making our team too big where we can't coach and do our jobs at a high level. Because we definitely need to keep that in mind as we're building our program.
Any more questions for Coach Stewart? Well, that looks like that's going to do it for today's Zoom with the coach. Matt, thanks for the last 45 minutes. Super informative. I know a lot of BuffNation know of our program, but they don't know what it takes or what it has taken to get it to this level. And you and your staff have just done an incredible job.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody coming.
Our next Zoom, we're going to keep it with the track and field genre. It'll be Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. We're going to visit with Jake Krolik, the Buffaloes and Lady Buffs head cross country coach. We see a thumbs up there from Indianapolis. So we'll look forward to Bree and Daniel being back with us as well as the rest of you. So until then, keep it safe. Thanks for joining us, and go Buffs.
Go Buffs.